It is fantastic to be here today in Townsville to launch this AustCyber's Cybersecurity Innovation Node, which has a connection through to so many different parts of the economy locally, regionally, nationally. And so we know so much about the cyber threats that are now impacting our economy at a national level as well as a local level. That's translating into risks that are causing businesses to find so much concern in how they go about digitally transforming. The cybersecurity node here in Townsville, in connection with the Townsville City Council, is all about showing that if we engage with that risk and we learn more about how we can use cybersecurity as a strategy for success, we will embed trust in a way that means that we can use cybersecurity to grow amazing businesses right here from Townsville.
Can you tell us about the panel discussion? What was sort of happening there, and who were those people asking questions?
So we had a panel discussion today about how we can leverage the node to be a connector across all industries that are occurring in this part of northern Queensland. And so the discussion was broad-ranging around how we can manage the threats and risks, but also how we can see cybersecurity as a horizontal enabler across all industries, but also more than that, across the community. How we can make sure that kids in schools understand the relationship between safety and security, how we can have security happening in the home in a digital as well as physical way, how that translates into all of the kinds of activities that we use to go about our daily lives. We also talked about the skilling situation, how cybersecurity is a component of every job in the economy now, but also how we can see great jobs growing in industries because cybersecurity is taken seriously, both in terms of managing the downside risk, but seeing it in the upside risk space from an opportunity situation. And seeing how Townsville really is, as a smart city with the smart precinct here, a bastion of what great looks like for the rest of the country in generating new forms of jobs that don't cut out existing jobs. It is additive, and it's about growing that awareness and understanding of just what's possible when we generate a truly deep public-private partnership around emerging technologies and new industries.
What is a node? Can you talk us through that?
Great. So a node is really just a physical manifestation, and we chose node because it's as a name, because it's actually a reflection, of course, about how computer systems work. So it's a throwback to sort of, the matrix-like thing of the ones and zeros that we see, and it's bringing humanity and humans to that. So it's a physical manifestation of all of the national programs that AustCyber runs on behalf of the country to make sure that we are globally competitive in the industry that is cybersecurity, but making sure that that's then integrated into all other industries and, as I mentioned, community as well. So the node becomes a focal point around how we coordinate, facilitate, but actually deliberately orchestrate these kinds of opportunities to make the best of them. So it's not just a moment in time. The growth opportunities become sustained, and we can see people move forward with positivity rather than feeling buried in the complexity that can come with cyber risk.
Can you talk us through some of the sort of signature cyber risks facing businesses like the ones we have in Townsville at the moment?
The most common cyber risk that small businesses face, medium businesses face, large businesses face, and of course even government agencies, is ransomware. So ransomware is where, of course, we have malicious software that is affected against an organisation. It finds its way in, usually because there's low security within the IT systems, but it can also happen in a myriad other ways. And then that information is locked and then ransomed. If you want your data back, you will have to pay for it. There's some very straightforward things that businesses can do to ensure themselves against ransomware. So malicious software being held for ransom against data. And that's things like backing up your data. If you have a backup of your data, you don't need to pay the ransom to get your data back because you actually already have it. A very, very straightforward thing that we can do to mitigate against that common risk that is now facing any organisation in the economy, including every organisation here in Townsville and the northern region of Queensland.
Is there plans to launch other hubs around regional Queensland, or do you already have other hubs?
Well, the fantastic thing about AustCyber being in Queensland this week is that we have followed through on our soft launch during COVID. We did not let the pandemic slow us down in rolling out a national network of innovation nodes for the country to be able to grow around cybersecurity. And so this week we've formally launched in a person-to-person way, which is fantastic, the node that we have in Brisbane, the node that we have here in Townsville, and shortly launching the node that we will have in Maroochydore. And so those are the nodes that we have here in Queensland, and there are many more to come, not just in Queensland but around the country. So we now have 8 nodes and 3 innovation hubs that are all about helping Australian business and councils, governments be able to engage with emerging technologies in a way that is cyber resilient.
So is the node like a place that businesses can come and seek help? Is that sort of how it's going to work?
It already does work in that way, where we have people coming to the node here at the Smart Precinct in Townsville to learn how they can engage with the challenges that they have around cybersecurity, but also to learn how they can embed a secure by design approach to their business strategies. And so we do have our node manager here within the Smart Precinct that works across all of the different stakeholder groups engaging in the Smart Precinct, but also beyond the Smart Precinct, to learn in a safe environment where no question is a silly question about what cybersecurity is all about, how you can do it well, but more importantly, how to start. How do you get a start? Where is the right place to be in your cyber maturity? And how you can connect to a national set of knowledge and physical infrastructure to help you really accelerate your growth journey around cybersecurity.
What sort of format does that kind of support take? Is it like one-on-one sessions or forums, or how does it work?
It works through so many different ways. We have both physical sort of services that we provide, as well as digital tools and services that we provide. So no matter where people are and what their circumstances are, if we're in lockdown with a pandemic, whether we've got things going on at home that means that we can't make it into the physical manifestation of the node, there are online services that are being deployed as well. One-on-one, absolutely. It's the way that we know we develop trust around how to engage with topics that can be a little bit scary, a little bit off-putting in the first instance. And so people can come here to meet with our node manager, Miranda Mears, here in Townsville, and of course that national network around the country if that's where you're joining in from. But also you can have further support with the tools and services that we have online. We also run a whole series of facilitated programs that not only are available to all businesses to engage with, but also to help grow amazing Australian cybersecurity companies locally. So how do you start a cybersecurity company, and how can you go global with that cybersecurity company right here from Townsville? And that's part of what AustCyber brings to the table, is that we are a federally funded industry growth centre and working in partnership with a range of public and private entities to reduce that transaction cost of companies and agencies engaging with the challenge and the opportunity of cybersecurity.
This node.
So my role as AustCyber Townsville Cybersecurity Innovation Node Manager, and also in collaboration with Smart Precinct, is to provide support and assistance to small businesses, large businesses, to develop a whole cybersecurity ecosystem. So the challenge that we have here in the north is we don't actually have a cybersecurity ecosystem at the moment. It's an opportunity that is amazing for our region. We have so many different really big initiatives that are happening here in the north, from smart cities through to the Spark Precinct to the Defence AI Hub, that all have a really critical component around cybersecurity. For the businesses themselves, the opportunity for that is to tap into those defence and prime contracts through procurement by demonstrating their cyber resilience as a part of the supply chain. So in addition to building sovereign cyber capabilities and building startups and building jobs for the future for our children to stay here and have really good economic prospects, we're also providing those opportunities to those traditional businesses to be able to tender and obtain opportunities around the defence and manufacturing and construction initiatives that are happening.
Do you think when these sort of major contracts are coming up through the government or private sector enterprises, and they're looking for local contractors in Townsville, that's something that's stopping them, I suppose, from picking up those contracts at the moment, is not having that cyber?
I don't think I know. It is a critical component of being able to get a prime subcontract or a defence contract, is to be able to demonstrate your cyber security risk and management framework.
What would would your message to Townsville locals be? Can they come in here at any time and learn more about it? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Come into Smart Precinct. It's a really beautiful space that encourages innovation and the development of our north. Come and speak to me. We will be releasing a range of programs face-to-face. The first is going to be happening at the last Wednesday of next month. We're particularly focusing on how we can engage with our veteran community to upskill and reskill to cybersecurity opportunities. So like us on Instagram, Facebook, and connect with AustCyber nationally through our node network, and just keep your eyes out on where those events are. We'll also be running industry specific engagements. I have in second quarter a full secure SME program developed just for advanced manufacturers, and we'll be rolling out similar programs for construction and retail and different industries.
What is today's announcement?
Today's announcements come on the back of a lot of hard work done by many individuals and partnerships that we're growing through the City Council. The node is extremely important. We're seeing now significant businesses starting to move to the north, as well as we want to grow our local business and capability. But in today's modern digital world, you need to protect your business. People don't rob you anymore with guns. They don't walk through the front door, and I can't remember the last time I heard of a bank robbery. But what they do is try and steal your information, your banking details. So we want to educate businesses firstly in cyber risk, but there is a capability that we can grow locally. We know the government has said there's 25,000 jobs in cyber security over the next 5 years. So why not have some of those jobs in Townsville, in North Queensland?
How do you see local businesses taking up the services that will be on offer?
So Australian Cyber, and through the creation of the node, the first node in regional Australia here in Townsville, they'll be offering courses and guidance, as well as working with local education providers to try and grow skills in our community.
Do you think there are any particular threats that you're aware of facing Townsville businesses?
Oh God, there's always threats. I mean, I speak to small businesses all the time. I know a number of them that have had information literally stolen from them and held at ransom with ransomware. We know that it's not just criminals but terrorist organisations who do this. So that there is a real need for, it doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home business or one that's a major business like a bank. Cybersecurity is everyone's concern. I mean, all of us have received the odd text messages, you know, the strange phone calls. We've got to learn that this is now the new form of criminal activity, and we've got to be taught how to defend ourselves against it.
How long has this project been in the works for town?
Well, it's been part of the move through Smart Precinct, the next level of engagement. As I said, cybersecurity has been a risk to a lot of our businesses, and for many of our businesses who want to engage now with federal and state government, they have to show some cyber literacy, I'll call it. So this is a great way of teaching our businesses what to do, and for them to then go out and find companies or maybe grow capability locally.
Is there a dollar figure on how much this is cost to set up? Or
No, I think it's, you might be able to answer that, Michelle. I think I wouldn't say there's a monetary cost. It's more a cost around staff time. The Miranda's position's been paid for through the federal government, all right, which we appreciate. We provide the space and the support. Sorry.
What's next for this Smart Precinct, Jenny? Has it lived up to Townsville City Council's expectations?
Oh, it's been doing more than that, and for us, it's really now about continuing to grow innovation in the community. But can I say that that's not just about sitting on a keyboard. We've got people here who are running small manufacturing businesses, not just sitting on a keyboard and developing apps and programs. Innovation and being smart encompasses every type of business.
Jenny, just on another topic, this weekend will be 1 year since international borders closed and non-essential services were shut down due to COVID. How do you think Townsville's fared overall in the past year?
Oh look, this time last year I think we were in uncharted waters. We didn't know what could happen. We planned for the worst, which was really about COVID infecting a significant portion of people here in Townsville and how we would deal with it. That didn't happen. Thank God that the Ruby Princess was contained in the end, and the borders were shut to prevent people coming in with COVID. And so consequently we didn't experience the same situation we saw in America, in Europe, Africa and parts of Asia and South America. 1 year on, I think we're far more resilient. What COVID has shown most of Australia is you don't have to be working in office space in Sydney, and people are being more discerning about how they operate their businesses. The regions offer a great opportunity for Australians who don't want to risk another COVID outbreak, and the reality is this virus we may have won with the vaccine, but who knows what's going to happen in another 5 or 10 years. So the regions offer an opportunity whereby we can dissipate populations and still continue to run businesses. So my thoughts of COVID are the short-term impacts were bad, the long-term implications for places like Townsville, it could actually create a much better outcome for us.